That rich European choral tradition is still a source of inspiration today. This next piece was written by well-known Scottish composer James Macmillan in 2007 and is sung for us by Cappella Ceciliana.